Hi. So there's an event that happened in my life that I really feel compelled to talk about lately. So if you guys are interested to hear my homophobic experience, keep watching. If you're not, you can just keep scrolling. I had a homophobic experience while trying to change psychologists. Um, I met up with a psychologist a few months back because I needed to have a uh, diagnosis um, for my mental health, that is. So I needed a psychologist, and I met up with one who could give me a diagnostic, and he did. And this particular psychologist was really hung up on the fact that I was gay, but really badly hung up on the fact that I was gay. See, he asked me about my personal life, which is fine. Um, but then he asked me if I had a boyfriend, and I said no. And he asked why, and I said it's just not working out with guys. And he said, how so? I said, well, because I'm gay. He kind of pulled it out of me. I clearly did not want to talk about it, but he yanked it out of me. I left it at that. It wasn't so bad. But he kept coming back to the fact that I was gay. I had a really hard time um, during the mental evaluation because he kept coming back to that. And I was like, hey, dude, stop it. Stop it. Me being sick mentally has nothing to do with the fact that I am gay. Absolutely nothing. So that's not exactly my homophobic experience. What happened is my normal psychologist is on maternity leave, and so I've been uh, without therapy for the past 4 months. And I just recently found out that she wasn't going to return for another 2 months. So she comes back in March. And I don't really feel able to not be going to therapy anymore. So I called the place where I was supposed to call. I'm not going to name any names or places because obviously I don't want this to come back as a negative way on this person or me. Um, so I called a place where I needed to call to have one. And I actually had a number for a different psychologist, a woman psychologist this time, and she told me I had to go back with the old one to be able to change. It was weird. So the same man who had to diagnose me is the same man I had to call and tell that I didn't want his services anymore. However, I did want to go see someone else. So I called and I left a message, and he called back. However, when he called back, it had been quite some time since we hadn't spoken. I've seen him once, no, twice. So I've seen him twice for a diagnostic, but we weren't supposed to, there was no follow up afterwards. It was just give me my diagnosis and I'll be on my way. So he asked why I didn't want to continue seeing him, and I said, well, because I'm just more comfortable with a woman. I do find that a woman is more easy to talk to for me, um, less judgmental. I mean, he was my first, no, sorry, second man psychologist, and I find them very, I don't know, they're just not warm at all. So when this man called and asked, he was like, "Oh, right, you're gay. You're the gay one." And I was like, "Yeah, but this has nothing to do with the fact that I have to have a follow up with someone else. Like it was crazy." And I simply asked him if it was possible to see someone else, and he just kept coming back with the fact that I was gay. You don't want to come see me because you're gay and you prefer women, and I was like, that has nothing to do with it. I need to see someone that is not you because I simply do not like you and your attitude. Quite frankly, I found him to be a jackass, and the first time I met him, I actually called my family and told them how much of a jackass this man was. So at the end of our conversation, I had hung up on him because I got, just really tired of those stereotypes and shit like that. So I hung up on him, and he called back, and I gave the phone to my aunt, my adoptive mom, and so she answered. I had the time to explain to her what had happened, but she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're overreacting," is what she told me. So he asked to talk to me when he saw that she was the one on the phone, and he started bitching at me on the phone, saying that I had no right to hang up on him and that I had to listen to what he had to say. So at that moment, I put him on speakerphone so that my adoptive mother could hear, and shit got real. He was harassing me with the fact that I was gay, and he didn't want to answer my question. That was if I could see another psychologist. And so I asked him very clearly to respond yes or no, can I see a new psychologist? And I had to repeat that question 5 or 6 times until he never really gave me an answer. I just asked for his boss finally. Me and my adoptive mother asked for his boss's name. And so if you're in the public, if you're working in the public and you see a gay person and you don't like it, shut your mouth. Because it made me feel like I had no right to have a psychologist because I am gay. And my mental needs aren't as bad as the ones who are straight. Honestly, the fact that I need to be in therapy right now has nothing to do with the fact that I'm gay. The fact that you're a total fucking moron and a jackass has nothing to do with the fact that I want to see it has everything to do with the fact that I don't want to proceed therapy with you. And for anybody out there who's watching this, or whatever the case may be, if you keep giving these people the right to talk to you like that, we're not going to go anywhere in this world. Us as the gay community, or you as a straight person, or bi, or pansexual, or trans, I don't care what you are. Stand up for yourself. It's not because this man has a fancy certificate to work in the public. It's not because he's got the certificate that it gives him the right to feel better about himself than what we are. I am a human. You are also a human, and we deserve to be treated like humans. I really felt compelled to share my story because it made me really angry. If you ever see or hear something like this happening, call that person's boss. See how fresh and big he'll feel at that point. I want you all to share this video in hopes of this person watching this video someday and realizing how much of a jackass he is, and I want this person to realize how bad he has, how he's not working in the right domain. You are working with the public, which means if you have something that bothers you, you need to shut your mouth. I wanted to share this because I'm sure somebody else is dealing with the same man or a same circumstance, and this has to stop. This has to stop. We are in 2015, and it is time for a change.